Every marriage feels disconnected at some point, whether it's the work schedule, the kids' schedule, just we're more comfortable with our spouse than anyone else. And so it's easy for that relationship to become familiar or common and for us to not value it for what it really is.
We try to have intentional conversations and we just end up having the same conversations all the time. We need a break from everything. Let's go take a little date night for us. And then we end up just talking about all the things. And it's like, man, I feel really disconnected from my spouse. And I think that there's a level of shame that comes with that. You begin to think that, and then you start to feel like, wait, are we in a bad place? Like, is our marriage not healthy? Are we not good? Are there underlying things going on? I don't really want to bring it up because I don't want to start a fight. I don't think it happens overnight. Disconnection and feeling like this typically happens over a long period of time where you just begin to drift and you just kind of allow things to get in between you and your spouse and your communication. And we've been there. We've been there many times. It just takes some intentionality to get back to the place of feeling connected.
Hey there, welcome back to the Greater Marriage Podcast. Thanks for tuning in with us today. Hey, if you've been around here for a while, you know what this is about. We love to talk about all things marriage, relationships, really get down to the nitty gritty. If you're new around here, welcome. I mean, nothing is out of the question for us. We love to talk about things that maybe other people don't talk about because we desire for marriages to succeed, right? Yeah, and sometimes that requires hard conversations, vulnerable conversations, conversations that you just might not want to have. But today, we're going to be talking about how to come back from maybe feeling disconnected from your spouse because we get busy with kids and work and all the things. And it's so easy to just look up and feel this distance between you and your spouse, right?
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of feeling disconnected from your spouse, I have a great story for you guys this week.
Lord have mercy.
And per usual, it maybe a little hard on Heather this story. If you have been around here for a while, if you're new here, I'd love to let you know, we like to keep these conversations short and sweet. Something you can listen to on a lunch break, 20, 30, 40 minutes. And we like to keep them pretty lighthearted.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you're not doing it right.
Exactly. And so today we're going to laugh at Heather.
Oh, no.
And so the other day, Heather and I don't even remember what we were talking about now. What was it? I sent you the look at us meme. What did I send that in response to?
Okay. I had suggested that we do something. And I said, no, it was okay. If you don't have an easement on your property from the electric company, the internet company, whatever, thank your lucky stars, because that is what it was about. We came home and these guys are digging up a piece of our front yard from Cox Internet. And so that was what it was about. You had let...
Actually, this gets even better. I'm in the office working, and we have people coming over that night. And I don't realize what's going on. Behind me, there's a window. We're in our office right now. This is welcome to the Greater Marriage Podcast office. I'm in here working, and I don't realize what's going on outside. There's a window, but I couldn't see. I'm in the zone, and all I hear is Heather go, "Not today, boys." Because Cox had let us know, hey, there's a gigantic box in your front yard that belongs to us. Someday we're going to call you and schedule a time to come out and dig it up and bring it to the surface, and it's going to be in your front yard forever, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's basically how the conversation went. Never did they call, never did they schedule, never did we hear any more conversation about it. We just look outside and see a couple dudes digging up our front yard on a day where we're preparing
2 hours before we had 30 people showing up at our
celebrate our son's basketball team who won it all this year.
Yes.
Champions, 6th grade champions. Very excited for them.
So I did what any woman of her house would do, who's running around cleaning, trying to get her prepared.
Oh, sir, verbally attacks the
party. I said, not today, boys.
Heather goes outside. I run out after her just to make sure she's good, make sure they're good. I was more checking on them than her. And I'm like, she's like, excuse me, what is happening here? And unfortunately, the gentleman didn't speak English. He called his boss, and we got to talk to his boss. And his boss is like, hey, my bad. We'll clean up. We're gonna come back Monday. It's too muddy anyways. Your front yard's a mess. So we're gonna cover the hole back up, and we are going to get out of your hair. We'll come back on Monday. So we're like, great, thank you so much. So we get back to cleaning the house. I get back to work, and we're running around getting the house prepped for this party. Look outside, and it's just a little clumpy, right? So Heather runs to
A lot.
little clumpy. Heather runs to the store. I run to the store. One of us are out and about. And there's a text conversation going on between the two of us. We're very connected, having this conversation about what's going to happen that day. And I say,
I said, hey, the dirt still looks pretty rough out here. Maybe we could take a rake over it to smooth it out a little bit.
She said that just 1 minute after I had said, yeah, it looks tough, or hey, front yard looks tough. I'm going to grab a rake and rake it down. Then she says, hey, front yard looks rough. We should rake it up. And I send, of course, the Paul Rudd meme of, look at us. Look at us saying the same thing at the same time. Aren't we cute?
Okay, on my side, I didn't see his text that came through at the same time. So what my perspective, here we go, my perspective, I sent a text that says, we should rake it up. He sends back a meme that says, look at us. Knowing that I'm married to a rather sarcastic man at times, I read that as, look at us, like a slap in the face of, oh, we are going to do this? You mean I'm going to go out and rake this?
Which, not far from something I would say, because Heather very often says, man, we need to stop leaving our shoes all over the place. And I'm like, oh, we do? Never seen your shoes laid out. I know who you're talking to.
Team Miller.
We're Team Miller. Man, we should really stop leaving our boxers laying around the bathroom floor. Oh, really? Do you wear boxers, babe? Oh, we have been there. So not out of the realm of possibility for me.
Not far off. And I was
look at us, babe.
I'm feeling a little spicy already because homeboys had just dug up my front yard.
Yeah.
So I took a little offense to that one, and I shot back a little dagger at you.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, really? Well, maybe I should say that next time we clean up the poop in the backyard or do, and started listening to a bunch of stuff that she had recently done that I did not partake of. And so I get this text back, and I'm like, whoa. I'm just enjoying this moment of us saying the same thing at the same time. And look at us, aren't we cute? And then all of a sudden I get this, little harsh response back. And I text back, huh? I said that because we said the same thing at the same time, babe.
And then I scrolled back and saw the text that I had missed and was like, oh my gosh. So I replied back to you and said, wow, I feel like a jerk.
As you should have, babe. As you should have. We laughed about it. Like she said, if you're not laughing at yourself, you're not doing it right. That could have turned into a very big deal. And maybe on another Tuesday, that would have turned into a very big deal. But
we had bigger fish to fry that day.
Fish to fry.
So we laughed it off and moved on. And I should have known it would come up in a podcast. But today we're talking about what to do when you feel disconnected.
How to reconnect when you feel disconnected. Which, by the way, we are practicing. We are practicing these things currently. And very excited to share them with you.
Okay, so like I started to say before you just threw me under the bus and ran me over, every marriage feels disconnected at some point.
Yeah.
Whether it's the work schedule, the kids' schedule, just,
being on our phones.
Being on your phones, just getting comfortable, right? I mean, we're more comfortable with our spouse than anyone else. And so it's easy for that relationship to become familiar or common and for us to not value it for what it really is.
Yeah, for sure. Familiarity can definitely play into it. It's like, man, we try to have intentional conversations and we just end up having the same conversations all the time. Mm-hmm. Or, man, we just always talk business, or we're always talking with kids, or, we go on a date to get away from, the noise of the home, the kids and the work and all things. And what do we talk about on our date? All the stuff that we were trying to get away from, right? It's like, we need a break from everything. Let's go take a little date night for us. And then we end up just talking about all the things. And it's like, man, how did we get here? Right? Is typically kind of the response of like, man, I feel really disconnected from my spouse. I feel alone. Have you ever felt like alone in your marriage? And it's like, I feel alone. I feel disconnected. I feel, like we just keep having the same conversations and it's not going anywhere, or we're not having any meaningful conversations or whatever. And I think that there's a level of shame that comes with that. I speak about that, that question, like, man, how did we get here? You begin to think that, and then you start to feel shameful. Like, wait, are we in a bad place? Like, is our marriage not healthy? Are we not good? Are there underlying things going on? I don't really want to bring it up because I don't want to start a fight. It's like, I don't know that I want to go get to the root of it. It's like, I don't know that I want to go there or want to dig that up. And so I think it's easier to get there than we think. I don't think it happens overnight. Disconnection and feeling like this typically happens over a long period of time, where you just begin to drift and you just kind of allow things to get in between you and your spouse and your communication. And we've been there. We've been there many times. And it just takes some intentionality to get back to the place of feeling connected.
Well, I think the first question we have to ask ourselves is in what area of our marriage are we feeling disconnected?
Yeah.
We're 3-part beings, right? Spirit, soul, body. So it's like, okay, are we spiritually disconnected? Have we not prayed together? Have we not talked about what we're seeing in the word? Like, is something missing there? Soul, like, are we disconnected because we're not having fun? We're just doing business. Like, we're not enjoying each other's company. We're not laughing together. Or physically, like, are we sexually not connecting? Maybe it's one of those, maybe it's all 3 of those things. Yeah. And so understanding which of those areas you're feeling that disconnection, I think can help give you a better plan of action going in.
Yeah. We've talked about this before, but whenever a man's soul is crushed, his mind is off limits. And whenever a woman's soul is crushed, her body is off limits. And so typically there's something that happened, a conversation that happened, something that was said in front of somebody else, the way a situation went down that makes, either the husband's soul feel crushed or the wife's soul feel crushed. And because of that, the guy's like, you know what, I'm not going to open up to you because you're just going to throw it back on me, or you're just going to nag me, or you're just going to whatever. And they just shut down. They mentally shut down and they mentally disconnect, or the soul side of them, which is your mind, your will, and your emotion, you just shut off emotionally. You don't get access to what I'm thinking because I don't want to hear your response and all of it. And then for a female in the same way, if she feels shut out, it crushes her soul, and then her body shuts down. And so you don't get access physically if we can't connect on a soul level, on an emotional level. Like, women need to feel the emotion to get to the physical. Men are typically the opposite, right? The physical kind of leads to getting us more emotional or more open. And so, yeah, like it's easy for us to get there, or maybe to see it for a bigger deal than it is, when it's like, hang on, it's not like I'm not physically attracted to you or that I don't enjoy your presence. It's that my soul's crushed and something made me feel some type of way. And in response to that, I shut down. And in response to that, you shut down, and here we are. And so how do we get back to a place where we feel connected on every level?
What was it that this just made me think of this, that our premarital counselor said to us 15 years ago when he was talking about this idea of, I think he said something to me, this idea of like wanting, if you want your husband to be vulnerable.
Have sex with him?
Was that it? That's just it. If you want,
Simple as that. Yeah.
if you want your husband to be vulnerable, just have sex with him.
Yeah. And he'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Yeah, that was the gist of it. And that's the idea that I was talking about, where it's like men get vulnerable and emotional and open like after that, right? That just, again, opens a part of their soul up. And it's like, when you connect with them physically, they typically open up. And that's not to say that we use sex against one another, right? Or we don't withhold it from one another, and we don't give it to get to something else.
Right.
However, we've talked about this, like physical intimacy can help jumpstart the reconnection. It can. It can wipe away some of the small things that just make us feel disconnected. And then, you have a moment where you're physical with one another, and then it's like, oh, you know what? We actually aren't nearly as far apart as I thought. We just need to talk about some things. And that helps you get there. And it helps, again, just kind of open your eyes to the fact that, okay, maybe we're not as disconnected as we thought. I think that again, like I said before, disconnection happens unintentionally, and you just begin to drift. But reconnection never happens unintentionally.
Right.
You're not going to wake up one morning and be like, I feel more connected to you than ever. How did we get here? Like, it's the opposite. You're going to wake up and feel disconnected and be like, wait a minute, why are we so disconnected? The reconnection happens with intentionality. And that's what we want to talk about today. We've just got a few points that we want to hit on before we let you go today, of just how do we reconnect when we feel like that?
There's a lot of different ways that we can reconnect. And for different couples, that might practically look a little bit different depending on which of those three areas you need to focus on, depending on your personality types. Those things can all play in. So the action items that we're going to give you today are just kind of applicable to anyone. And so take them for what they are, tweak them to make them fit you. But the overarching idea, I think, is going to translate to anyone, no matter which of those areas really you need to focus on. So how do we reconnect? First of all, daily check-in. This feels so elementary. Daily check-in. But we're not meaning a daily check-in in the sense of like, hey, what's on the calendar today? You're taking this kid here. I've got this business meeting, whatever. We're talking about like true daily check-in. Like, how is your soul? How are you? Like, what can I do? How can I serve you? What's weighing on you right now? Like those deep conversations that go below the surface, because we know how to do surface. That's easy. But the daily check-in kind of forces that below the surface level conversation.
Yeah, we've called this before like the high, the low, and the sore spot. It's checking all three of those areas of, hey, what was the best part of your day or your week? What was the lowest part of your day or your week? And then what just kind of rubbed you the wrong way? What's bugging you, right? Like what our pastor used to always say, what you're passionate about is what you think about when you brush your teeth. And it's those moments of like, what are you thinking about in the quiet moments? What are you thinking about when you brush your teeth? What are you thinking about like in those quiet moments of your day where you don't have to be focused on something? What's your heart turn toward? Where does your mind go? Those are the little things you need to be talking about, because those are the things that are eating away at you. And those are the things that we don't typically get to. And you feel like you're carrying them on your own. And we're a team. And so it's like, what are you carrying that I don't know about? What are you carrying that you don't feel like I'm helping you carry? Those are some questions that you can ask your spouse in those daily check-ins. And this is not just a quick, like, hey, just want to tap in, like, what's going on? What's good? This is like full attention, eye contact, phones away, like speak to your soul type of conversations. Like, hey,
after the kids are in bed or before the kids wake up in the morning.
Yes, this is one-on-one, nothing else going on, no noise, no distractions, no TV show on. Okay, let's talk. I feel, and this is where you can be be honest. Like, hey, I feel kind of disconnected. Like, I don't want to feel that way. Let's talk. What do you like? What's been on your mind? What's been on your heart? What are you carrying that you feel like I'm not helping you carry? Where am I failing in our marriage? Like, without defending myself, I just want to hear you out. That's the daily check-in that we're talking about. And it's something that you have to create a repetition for, something you have to create a habit for, right? It's like, we're going to do this right now, but we don't have to solve the world's problems right now. We're going to revisit this tomorrow.
It's not even so much what you're talking about. It's just the fact that you're talking, because every human wants to be seen and wants to be heard.
Right.
And so just opening that door and creating that space for that conversation to be seen and heard, automatically it creates a little bit of vulnerability to share, like, this is what I'm thinking about. This is what's weighing on me. And automatically it turns my heart posture toward you when you care to ask where I'm at.
Yeah. This is just us staying emotionally involved in one another's lives.
Yeah.
Like, I want to care about what you care about. I want to think about what you're thinking about. I want to carry what you're trying to carry. Like, that is who we are. We are each other's helper, right? We're each other's partner. And so, like, in being a good teammate, I want to help in those moments and help lift your head, whenever your head is down. And so this is how we do that. We just daily check in, create a habit of it, have intentional conversations, and don't be afraid to admit when something feels off. Don't be afraid to have those conversations like, hey, I'm not trying to start a fight here. I just think something feels off and I don't want it to feel off anymore. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm taking blame too. Like, this is our fault. Let's get better. Let's have a conversation right now.
Yeah. So that kind of speaks to that soul reconnection. Now, talking about kind of maybe a body reconnection, another way you can reconnect is physical affection without an agenda.
Yeah.
Sometimes with an agenda, but sometimes equally as important, physical connection without an agenda.
Yeah, and for what we mean by this is physical touch without needing it to lead somewhere else, right? Typically, if again we're giving you very like typical male and female roles in this thought.
Sometimes it's opposite.
Sometimes it's opposite. Sometimes, I mean, personality matters and love language matters. But typically, again, when a girl's mind is racing and she feels disconnected, if her husband's touching her, she's thinking, like, oh my gosh, what does he want? Like, why is he trying to, like make a move right now or whatever? And this goes both ways. Again, like I'm the physical touch person in our relationship. And so like when we feel disconnected, you just like squeezing me on your way by or smacking my butt on the way past me or grabbing my hand in the car, like all those little things really matter to me. It makes me feel that much more connected, that much more seen. In the same way, like if you sit in front of me, I just massage your shoulders, or just again like come up behind you, wrap my arms around you when we're in a group of people, or like just giving some sort of physical touch to show you like, hey, I'm here, I see you, I'm thinking about you, I notice you in a room when our kids are around, just we're all having conversations and I'll just start rubbing your feet or whatever, like any type of physical touch without trying to lead to something else. Just again shows like, hey, we're good. Like I'm connected with you. I know we're busy. I know you're having this conversation, I'm having that conversation, and I'm dealing with this kid, you're dealing with that kid. We're doing all things, but I see you. Just that little bit matters.
Yeah.
And like you said, sometimes physical affection with an agenda, right?
Yeah.
Like we talk about how sometimes just creating a place for intimacy where it's like, hey, we've been super busy and we've had a ton going on and I feel super disconnected from you. Like, let's put a date like tonight. We're being physical no matter what. Or tonight's crazy, tomorrow morning, tomorrow night. Like, put it on the calendar and allow yourself to
In your mind, all the above.
all three. Let's just try it. Let's see what happens. But put it on the calendar and make an appointment with one another that you're not going to miss. And then it allows you to get in that headspace. If you're feeling tired and you're feeling exhausted and you're feeling burnout and you're feeling like decision fatigue and I just can't even get there in my mind, this allows you to say, nope, I'm getting there in my mind because it's on the calendar. We need to reconnect physically and it hasn't been coming easy lately. So we're going to make it. Like we're going to make sure that it happens no matter what.
Yeah.
That matters too. And that helps too.
Okay. Another way to reconnect is to protect your weekly time together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this kind of on the heels of what you talked about, putting something on the calendar if you need to, for the physical, but also putting something on the calendar for date night, and getting a babysitter, leaving the kids at home, or if you're in a season where you can't do that, putting the kids to bed early, door dashing some dessert, and going and sitting on the patio together, having just some intentional time, prioritizing each other in that moment of, whatever busyness is going on, that helps fuel that reconnection.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys see this. Brahm serves ice cream every day of the week until like 2 a.m. or something crazy. Like if you need just dessert together, have at it. I think we forget that sometimes. It's like, oh, well, it's not a special day. It's like, no, it's a special day because we're just making time for us. I'm going to go get some dessert. We're going to sit here. We're going to have, what is that?
I don't know. I agree with that thought process.
Your eyes.
I feel like you're justifying dessert every night.
Yeah, no, I am. Every night you should be protecting your weekly time together by being wrong, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 days a week, I'm kidding. But this is more intentional than just the daily check-in. This is an extended amount of time that you spend together. Not just, again, the daily check-in doesn't need to be quick and let's get this over with. It needs to be intentional and it needs to be eye contact, all things. This is an even further once a week, super intentional date together. And maybe that is for you in the season, putting the kids to bed and immediately saying, hey, we'll make lunches in the morning. We'll do all things in the morning. Let's just go sit and talk and have a moment together. Like that matters. More intentionally, this could be, again, getting a babysitter, going on a date, like just consistent time together matters. Consistency beats creativity. It doesn't have to be something incredible. It just needs to be an extended period of time where you deeply connect on an emotional level and you make time for one another. And it's like we are putting other things aside to put us first. that matters. And that will help you reconnect when you feel disconnected.
Yeah. Another way to reconnect is to address tension quickly. And gosh, we we love to say that the enemy lives in the silence.
Yep.
And so if there's tension because something has happened and we just get quiet about it, then it feels awkward and it's like, you good? You good? And then this wedge just kind of gets wider and wider and wider. And all of a sudden it's like, what did this even start with? Why were you even ticked in the first place? Half the time you can't even remember why you're ticked in the first place, but addressing that tension quickly when it happens helps. This is even a preventative measure for not getting to that point of feeling disconnected.
Yeah, Satan is not creative. We say that all the time. He's using the same methods he's used in the beginning of time, which is he loves to twist words and speak in silence. The first thing we ever hear the enemy doing is speaking through the serpent saying, did God really say? Right? And then he begins to lie and deceive, which is speaking his native tongue and saying, well, you won't die. He's speaking about the physical. God is speaking about the spiritual, but he's twisting God's word saying, you're not going to die. You'll be like God. And just begins to twist the words and get in Eve's mind to begin to allow her to have conversations that never happened and allow her to think things about God that were never true. And that's exactly what we do to one another.
Yeah.
How did he say that? What do you mean, look at us? It's like we begin to see things that aren't there and say things that were never said. We begin to have conversations that never happened. And then we begin to hear our spouse say things in their voice that they never actually said. And again, we always talk about how important our thought life is. Like, just go address it. Don't win battles in your mind that never actually happened. Go have a conversation. Go really genuinely allow your spouse to speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And address this tension quickly, because if not, the enemy will twist their words, will twist your thoughts, will speak in silence, and we never want to give a foothold to the enemy. Small offenses pile up. It's the little foxes that spoil the vine. And we have to make sure that we are attacking those little foxes and not allowing our fruit to spoil, not allowing the enemy to twist our words or speak in silence. We need to just be honest.
Yeah. Healthy couples repair quickly and they repair often.
Yep.
Because it's necessary. And then the last one that I think goes without say is a way to reconnect is to pray together.
Yes. Huge.
I mean, that just immediately relieves tension. When it's hard to stay mad at someone when you're praying for them, right? Or when you're praying with them. Yeah. And so just getting quiet together with the Lord, asking the Lord together, there is nothing more humbling than the times that we have been at each other, gone to prayer, and I've heard you say, Lord, forgive me for what I'm not seeing, for what I'm not understanding. Like, help me understand it. And it's like, I'm over here and my heart just immediately is like softened.
Yeah. I was like, God, thank you that your word says you reap burning coals
on Heather's
head. As she hears me, bless her. Kidding.
I take back everything I just said.
For real, no. Prayer is so refreshing, and the Holy Spirit really does do a work, and He really does. David says, the psalmist says, like, create in me a new heart, O Lord, a soft heart. Take out my heart of stone, give me a heart of flesh. Like, that is what's happening. You're renewing your mind for one another. You're renewing your mind toward one another. And those things matter. That prayer life for you and your spouse matters. And yes, your spouse should hear you pray. Like, I think a lot of some of the couples we talk to are like, it's embarrassing to kind of open up that part. Man, you need to be praying with your spouse. You need to be praying out loud and hold hands. And the Word of God says that when any two or more agree touching any one thing, I'm in the midst of them and I'll do it for them. It's like we need to come together and touch one another and grab hands and lay our hands on something and say, God, we declare this thing blessed, and our family is going to be blessed in Jesus' name. We forgive one another. We love one another. Our marriage is blessed. Our marriage is healthy and thriving. And even if it doesn't feel like it, we speak in faith and then we act in faith and we treat one another like that. And we move in faith, and everything that we do comes out of that heart of, no, our marriage is going to be great. Even if it doesn't feel great right now, we're going to be connected. Even if we don't feel connected right now, we're going to speak that over one another. We're going to speak it honestly and in faith, and we're going to live to see it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think just a good reminder is those times that we sense that disconnection, that we feel disconnected. It doesn't mean that our marriage is failing.
No.
It doesn't mean that it's beyond repair. It's like the check engine light that comes on in your car.
Yeah.
Like, hello, we need some attention here. Let's take care of some things to get us back on the road.
Yep.
And that's exactly what it is. So those moments of disconnection, don't let the enemy lie to you and tell you that it means that you married the wrong person or it means that you're too far gone. You just need some realignment.
Just require maintenance. That's it.
Just require maintenance. And so I hope that these few practical things you can apply to your life. Take them for what they are. Season them with whatever it is that fits your personality best. But we are believing that reconnection is right around the bend for you, that you and your spouse will be more reconnected than ever, that you will get right back on the same page, and that the Lord has great things in store for you that will exceed all of your expectations.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you have a great week. We are praying for you. If you need anything at all, please visit us at greatermarriage.com. That's our website. You can find all of our social media there. You can find our email there, connect@greatermarriage.com. And then also, if you need anything, please connect with us there. If you need marriage coaching, we offer premarital, marital, and restorative coaching as well. And so make sure that you reach out to us. We love to hear from you. We love to hear what subjects you want to hear us talk about. And so that is the way to connect with us. We can't wait to be with you next week. Man, have a great week. Go be great.